Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Welcome to the session. I'm Dr. Rishikesh Venkatraman. So, I'm here to present to you the opportunities for our students look at research and, more importantly, development activities at the UG level. So this next 30 minutes or so would be focusing on that. If you have any questions, please keep it. I'll take it towards the end of the session after around 20-25 minutes. And I request you to please ask questions towards the end of this talk. So, so I want to start with what was the basic technology, say around 8 to 10 years before. I'm sure we all have heard of these common terms like data, talking with the data rate from zero to zeros and one bits, moving around from 10 kbps of GSM based systems to 3G, which India kind of avoided it, directly moving on to LTE or 4G systems. Then we had internet access and cloud computing, and of course, very much on the software and the IT services, where we were probably, or we are still probably, the one of the big giants in terms of looking at the IT services of most of the products and services across the globe. Also, we have over the period we have done lot of work on hardware, and you have started with desktops, laptops, mobile phone which brought a big revolution in the industries, e-commerce transactions, with starting with Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, and so on. Many of these brought about by the improvements or vast advancements in the communications technology. So something that we see around 10 years before, right? Now, before I go on to what is there today or what may come tomorrow, I just want to go on to say, okay, now all these things have been there for last 10 years, 15 years or so. Now, how it has come? It has come through a process, something called as what people usually call it as R&D, right? Or the practice involved with either developing a new products or enhancing existing products. More importantly, what has actually evolved is that developing new services or completely new kind of services, starting from e-commerce or through Google offering its own search engines, Google Maps, and so on. So they are completely new services which are of course also marketed as products as well. But how does this come? They basically come when, and typically a new idea is being generated. uh, you look at some innovative concepts or you look at some challenges that are there in the society and see whether you can create or develop new products or services. I'm sure, for example, everybody is aware of Google Maps, right? Where Google actually tells you the, where you are and how to go to a particular place from, say, Bombay to Nagpur or Kolkata to Kharagpur or things like that. But what has been added in the last 2 3 years is that it actually shows you the traffic. It shows you whether it is very high densely traffic, red, yellow, green, things like that. So that is a very new concept that has been added to an existing service. So based on that, we have seen people actually taking different traffics, different routes. So it's a new product, that is new service that is being offered on an existing service. So it's more of an uh, innovation or a novelty that is being bought into an existing service. So once that idea comes, and then we look at how to convert that idea into what we can actually do to make it into a reality, then comes the place of called as development. So once the idea is there, once you come up with the novelty, lot of work needs to be done on the development aspect, right? So development actually takes a lot of time, energy, money, because generating idea is one aspect, but realizing that idea into what can be done and bringing it into a real world use is something that is going to take lot of challenges, right? With that in mind, I just wants to bring you to what has been going on recently in the technology world. This is something called as hype cycle for emerging technologies. So Gartner is a consulting agency which releases well-known hype cycle for different areas. One of the standard being for emerging technologies, where they actually present to you what is the different level of innovation or different level of emerging technologies, starting with the big steep, which shows the technologies that may just started. You call it as an innovation trigger. There has been an innovation trigger, and then the curve moves up, eventually going on to what is the peak stage, where there is lot of expectations, and but then there is a trough of disillusionment. It says that that the expectation is more, but then you still need to look into the developing the actual technology. So that is what is actually a very important time phase, is the development of the technology, and then there comes this slow slope of enlightenment, where the actual development of the technology takes place, right? So that's, if you actually look, lot of ideas come into the innovation stage, or the reach the expectation stage. After that comes the lot of work.
ఎక్కువది టైం చూపిస్తుంది. లూజ్గా ఉన్నదనుకో 2 గంటలు.
I request people to please put yourself in mute mode. I'll take questions, or we will take questions towards the end of 20-minute session. Right now, if you see what is the innovations that has been happening, I'll just pick some of them. For example, there is a lot of work going on in the IoT world, lot of work going on AI, ML, or deep neural networks. In fact, it has almost reached its peak. Then you have something called as 3D printing, or today as we call, move forward to 4D printing, right? So that's something that has very recently started. And then an AI based platform as a service. So we are today looking at an AI based software services. Then we look at smart robots, or an autonomous mobile robots, right? So these are the technologies that are very recently evolved, or there has been an innovation trigger. Similarly, for blockchains, or self-healing technologies, bio-inspired technologies, or brain-computer interface. So you see that typically a lot of technologies come there, and probably very few of them would actually pass through the peak of these cycle, and then eventually moving on to, for example, augmented reality. That's something that you see that has already passed the peak. Lot of development work is happening in that space. Blockchain, for example, IoT, neural networks, or a connected home. So these are the phase which is there for already 3-4 years, and now there has been even lot of significant work, but still you need to do a lot of things in order to bring in to the state where it has kind of already evolved and already saturated in the market, right? So with this, of course, Gartner's hype cycle changes every year. So you see that some of the technologies do, I won't say get obsolete, but then the priorities do change based on what is required by the customers, and what is required, what kind of technologies has been developed, right? So now I go back to what is, with this in mind, I go back to what is the different steps in R&D. Of course, R&D involves discovering or creating new challenges, but then a very important aspect in the R&D is innovation, or rather it is innovation and design. It's a very critical component, where you look more into the innovation serves a lot into the R part of R&D, that is the research part of the R&D. But of course, that does not anyway obviate the importance of the development part. Now, if you look at what is innovation or what is design, it involves the complete cycle, as we call it as ITSI. That is, you identify a problem. I'll go into some examples in a later on. You identify a problem. For example, one of the problem I mentioned a few minutes back is the Google Maps. But then people did not know what is that. They got the Google Maps, but did not know whether they actually to go take that route or not. So that's an identifying the problem there. I do not know whether I can actually take that route, whether it is worthwhile to take, especially in a Friday evening or a Monday morning, for example, right? right? Then comes design phase, where you will want to bring in your creativity and the design aspects, design thinking, to find innovative ways to solve the problem. And then you actually look at solving the problem. You find that you okay, I need to get the traffic from the for example, I can, most of the devices today in the vehicles are connected to the cloud or to the GPS. So I can actually use a GPS, which is an open source thing, to find out what is the traffic density in each area. So you find out ways to solve the problem. Once it is done, then you compare the results and see whether it actually helps in improving the performance. Finally, you want to inform, or you want to take it to the next level. The information it's like more like dissemination. It could be a simple open source information dissemination, like a publication where you want to publish something, or you want to protect your idea because you developed something and you feel that it is very novel that you have developed. Or you may want to look at collaborating with some industries or talking to some stakeholders, where you say, okay, that I have developed something, can it be integrated with what some people are doing? Or more importantly, as director mentioned yesterday, whether I can actually take this solution that I have developed to an incubation scenario, whether I can actually have a startup where I can probably make it as an independent solution and develop startups on that, which will provide these solutions. So, of course, the R&D is not just about totally new idea. It's also about taking the research or working on the development as well, making a prototype out of it, and then looking towards a complete product development, right from the conception of the idea to finally taking it to the industry, or making a prototype out of it, right? So in that context, you can look at an existing product, you can revamp the old features or add new features to it, like I mentioned about the Google Maps. Or for example, you already have lights and fans, and you want to make a smart home scenario, uh, where you want to really bring in time-based washing machine or sensor-based to coming into whenever you enter the room, the light turns on. Basically, you can actually add new features so that probably the product sells better, or you can actually add great value to the consumers. Okay. So I'll just quickly go through some of these. So apart from teaching, we at an institute level, every faculty brings in the technology expertise, which you can actually exploit, which you can talk to the faculties, and they would help you in developing some of the prototypes. We have a couple of research centers here: Center for Smart Cities. We have a design and innovation center in a hub and spoke model with other multiple institutes. We have different numerous projects in the institute with different funding agencies and government, which you can also participate. I'll come on to that. We have three different established research group. Again, these are just the research groups mentioned here. Some of them, there are a lot of work going on, for example, in data science or AI, ML, and so on. But some of these three are like computer vision, where you see a lot of work being done on image retrieval or augmented reality, which you saw in one of the hype cycle in that 2018 by Gartner. You look at the communications technology, the next generation communication technologies, the autonomous driving, as you saw, level 4 or level 5, the IoT or the sensors for the home environment. So now from here, okay, there is one more thing. We are also part of the technology innovation hub to build something on autonomous navigation or the drones under the IIT Hyderabad as the center, which is part of the national mission on interdisciplinary cyber physical systems. So I put it here deliberately to show that there are different opportunities where you can come in and talk to the faculties, work on the some of these projects as part of your semester in summer breaks or part of course projects. The way you can do it will be covered the next session immediately after this session. um, but now that you saw some of these aspects, I want to the natural question that would come into the student's mind is that, I being an engineering student, what can I do, or what can we do as a group of 2 3 students? uh, start thinking. I'm sure many of you would have already, for example, take standard day-to-day problems. Uh, I'll give you another example. I'm sure all of you watch cricket sports, either cricket or football, things like that. When I'll take an example of cricket here. For example, when a bowler is bowling and it is about to hit the pad, whether the batsman's pad, whether the batsman's pad was in front of the stumps, and even if it is so, whether it was outside the stumps or just before the inside these stumps. So how do you actually look into it? You can actually look at video processing or a computer vision based technique to identify whether the ball actually hit the pad, whether if there is a stump out or the bail has been just touched, whether you can use some kind of video analytics to see whether the bail was actually touched or not. So these are some of the problems. I'm sure you have seen it. You have seen some solutions where it shows in replay and techo replays where they show whether the cricketer was out or not out. Let's take some other simple problems. For example, a common thing that we always hear is that, if I'm in a hostel or in a library, then there is too much mobile noise in a hostel or a library. Uh, Whether do I want to build a jammer? Typically, Wi-Fi is 2.4 gigahertz. Whether I can build actually a simple jammer? I want to tell you that some of our students at the undergraduate level in some courses here have actually explored trying to build a jammer and I tried experimented in different rooms in these academic block. So some of the things, for example, I've been seeing some videos where one student mentioned that he wanted to learn guitar, but the electric guitar especially, but the electric guitars were way too complex for him to learn at that age of 18-20. So what he actually said is that, okay, let me build a two-string guitar, which he actually did it as a bachelor's thesis. There are a lot more problems. Like, for example, people have looked at building small robotic arm or a gesture controlled robotic arm, and then looking at the degrees of freedom using some machine learning techniques, which typically you can do by the time you are in a second year or in a third year of the studies. So you see that there are a lot of challenges, that a lot of problems that you will see in the day-to-day life, which you can bring in, and many of these problems you can actually solve once you are aware of standard ICT tools and some basics of programming. Then you can actually work on many of these problems. I'll just take one example rather than making it very passive. I'll just show one video. If I hope I'll be able to play it. This is a video of surface vehicle. Sorry, it's an under surface water vehicle that was built by our UG3 and UG4 students, and they had put lot of sensors on that vehicle, and they had actually tested in the waters in Sri City area, where you will see that they have actually collected some information on what is the temperature, pressure. They have put some sensors down and tried to look at the salinity of the water, and got lot of information from. You see that basically that was the academic blog that we were there, and of course it is easier said than done. You need to apart from knowing the technologies, you need to have lot of patience and commitment, because many times things do not work, things fail. In this particular example, that water vehicle was actually gone down the water, so it has to be rebuilt, and so on and so forth. And so, of course, the institute does help in a lot of these activities, but this is something that is built completely by the UG3 students mainly, and with some two UG4 students actually doing some part of it. But this is something that I wanted to actually showcase, that where you can actually contribute. Um, I'll probably close by showing that it is not just about prototypes or course projects. There are a lot of challenges, lot of events happening around the country, in the institute, different inter IIT, triple IT events, or anywhere within the country. And many of our students actually learn the concepts, the subjects knowledge, or participate in different events. Is that people have actually participated and won a Microsoft AI challenge event last year, and as somebody was asking and probably director also answered that, but I still wanted to repeat it here, is that many of our students do participate. In fact, they have been selected for Google Summer of Code, and it is not just 1 year. We had 6 students last year, and then probably 4 students in 2019 batch who actually they were not only very good coders, but they were also very good in grasping the technology, the latest technologies that being covered in the class or within the projects that they have been doing here. So what is that you can do? You can actually bring in a good research culture here. Again, as I said, research is not just that you do after a PhD or something. A lot of ideas that you can generate, lot of knowledge you can generate through discussions, through talking with each other, talking to colleagues, faculty, seniors, which can happen over in a hostel or in a canteen or in a sports meet. You'll be surprised that that India actually does lot of sports analytics, especially in tennis. We may not be playing very good tennis globally, but we do provide lot of very good solutions using sports analytics. Get lot of hands-on training. That's what the courses are about. I'm sure you have heard of that, where you learn lot of programming courses. Be strong in the programming aspects, participate in different technical clubs and other events that you see around here. Bring in a culture of where you are typically talking of doing lot of hands-on activities, bringing in lots of development there. You typically meet or a in the canteen or a tea or a coffee or a samosa. Try to see what you can actually bring on to it and how you can try to improve some of the technical knowledge that you gather here. So I'll end up here. What could you do is that focus on the fundamentals. The first and second years, typically, you need good hands-on programming. Talk to people. Of course, we are in online, so you can probably email us or email the faculties. Start talking to the faculties outside the class hours. Do internship either in the breaks between first and second year or things like that. We have lot of courses where you have project components. So look at how you can try to do some projects in the courses or do some prototype building. Of course, you have BTP bachelor projects and the honors projects that will be covered in the just few minutes from now. So thank you. I'll stop here. If you have any questions, please ask. Asking questions. Asking? No. Are there any questions, or you may want to type something? Okay. Yes. Can EC student participate in GSOC? I don't think GSOC has any restriction on whether it is an EC or a CSE student. Um, you need to be good in programming and need to meet the requirements. Requirements for the. Do we have any mentors? You would have mentors. You can mail the faculties, talk to them. How can we do internship in the first year? I think the first year it's better to focus on the fundamentals. That's probably much more essential. Um, zero with zero basics, that's what I mentioned, that get your fundamentals strong, and then you will be able to once you are good in programming and in these understanding the subject knowledge, you will be able to participate in such events. Okay. Does institute provides fund for research? Yes, I mean institute does support in many ways in mentoring, in in encouraging you to participate in these events. We have a very flexible system. The academic office is very kind enough to actually not only allow us but also encourage us to go and participate in such events. If we undertake research, will we be during the college hours? Uh, yes and no. If you are doing some course-based projects or if you're doing anything on credits, which will be just happen next few minutes, you will be you will know how to participate, how to undertake these activities within the college credits. You need to know programming languages. You need to. That's what the courses is all about. I'm sure the academic office or somebody would have talked with you on the different courses. If not, please go to the courses. Um, So the first year courses like C programming, data structure, the third semester OOPS with Java and Python are common courses, including on fourth semester courses of networks, which is our core courses for all, whether it's EC or CSE. So you will learn all the fundamentals and good programming skills within the first 2 years. Uh, how do you participate in Google Summer of Code? I think it's too early for you to know. We will definitely be sending information as and when we get from every year from Google, and there are other events. Google is not just one event. GSOC is not just one event. There are typically tens of events every year. I'll just take one more. Any suggestion for research topics? I would suggest that there are a lot of topics for research, but I suggest that that please explore, please talk to mail the faculties. You are free to email them, but probably you can wait for a few months to know about what they are. What is your expertise, how strong you are, build your strengths, and then go to them, right? So what exactly happened in an internship typically depends on what level you are. If you are in a second year, they may give you a smaller problem to look at. Once you come to third year, they probably give you a slightly bigger problem to look at. Once you come to fourth year, they'll be able to solve the entire problem. Like for example, second year students typically look at building small robotics arm, gesture control robotics arm, or some signal processing, speech signal processing, or image signal processing typically in the second year. Object detection using image signal processing in the second year or so. So these are some of the projects with which you could start.
Okay, someone is asking repeated questions about what topics in maths are related to CSC students. Maybe I'll take that question. So we teach discrete mathematics, matrix algebra, calculus, probability and statistics. Okay, and I think yeah, maths, linear algebra, discrete mathematics, probability, statistics, calculus. I'm missing one subject maybe. Anyway, it will be sent to all of you the syllabus soon. Okay.
Okay, there is a question. There is a separate session on business incubators tomorrow, so they would actually talk of more. We do have a TBI, but there is a session tomorrow. So please wait till tomorrow. We will be answering more on that part. There is a question. I don't have any coding knowledge. We are aware that people come from different backgrounds, so we actually take a lot of courses. So yeah, we start with C. We start with C programming in the first year. Then we go into data structure, C++, and then OOPS with Java, OOPS with Python. So we will be teaching our faculties will be teaching that, and it is really indeed required in today's times, whether it be EC, CSE, or whatever branch, to know the fundamentals of programming.
Someone
So
is asking, please
send the PDF to everyone. I think that is being arranged, which should be probably sent to all the students. Which programming language are we taught for C here? There is a course called Programming in C. Will there be projects in the first year? Not exactly a projects, maybe some simple programming assignments. That's it.
can we contact you?
Yeah, you can please contact through this email ID. Okay. As I mentioned, if you do not have coding knowledge, we understand many of them will not have coding knowledge. We have courses on starting with programming in C, um, data structures, C++, OOPS in Java or OOPS in Python. So we would be teaching you all these courses, and we expect you to learn these courses and become good again. I lost touch with Max. There is a question. We have lost touch with Max. There is 3 Max courses, M1, M2, M3. So I'm sure if you revise your 12th Max, you will be able to pick it up. So probably I'll stop here, and then it's time as well. And then I'll hand it over to the UG project, so who will talk on the how you can get involved in some of these projects. Thank you.
Sir, I think you need to stop sharing.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So hello, good afternoon again. So now we'll discuss a little bit about what are the opportunities for undergrad students in terms of projects here at IIIT Sri City. So we are the coordinators, Dr. Anish, myself, that is, and then Dr. Mainak, he is also with us. So let us see what is the what are the different options that you have. So I mean, generally, what is the goal of a BTech program, right? Most likely goal is to get a decent job. So imagine an employer. So what is that an employer is looking for, right? He's looking for potential employees, for example, BTech graduates like you. I mean, from 4 years from now. So what is that they're looking for? They're looking for main thing is problem solving skills, right? Especially technical problems. So how do you get these skills? You get these skills through rigorous training in both theory. Okay. Can you hear me now? So yeah, so resuming the talk. So okay, so how do you get these technical problem solving skills, right? For that, the first thing you need is a proper foundation in the theoretical aspects, that is through your coursework. And then as a part of the coursework, you'll also learn some basic skills, for example, programming or, managing electronic circuits, devices and all. And then once you have these two basic foundations, you should be able to use these two, that is your knowledge and the skills, to solve real world practical problems, right? So that is where the BTech project plays a critical role. So for example, let us think about an example. Think about, for example, we can build a solution for a problem. For example, let us say a human being, we have some disability in his limbs, right? For example, upper limbs, that is hands. So one possibility how you can get the disability is a problem or a stroke in the brain. Then what happens is he's not able to control his hand properly. For example, he's not able to pick up common things. That means he's not going to be able to do his regular activities. So how do we help him? I mean, how do we build a technology or a device that can actually restore his functionality? So one solution is to build a wearable robot. That means a robot that is basically an exoskeleton that can be worn around the hand, and then that can be used to restore its functionality. So how does it really work? There is one aspect of building the robot itself. There is the mechanical aspects. Let us say that is available because there is some good research that is already available to build these exoskeletons. But the next problem is, how do you coordinate that robot? That means, how do you control it? How do you tell the robot what to do, right? So because when there's a consider a person who is healthy, he's able to control his limbs through his brain, right? I mean, he just sends a command from the brain, and then it passes through the nerve system, and then it goes to the muscles and then the muscles are controlled, right? Or muscles finally control the final end muscle system. So, but in the disabled person, there is actually a roadblock in this pathway. So we have to discover the roadblock, and then we have to properly place a sensor that can detect these signals. And then from those signals, we should be able to decode the intended movement. And that is what is the movement that the person wants to do, and then communicate that information to the control system. And then the control system can tell the robot how to move or where to move. Okay. So this is one kind of project that students can do. It involves various background knowledge. That is, for example, it requires machine learning. It requires signal processing. It requires robotics and many other background areas. So this is one typical problem that students can do. Okay. So when do we start this BTP? So before I explain that, there are two kinds of projects. One is this BTP project, which is compulsory, and unless you take the second option, that is honors, okay, which is for 4 semesters. I mean, Dr. Mainak will talk in details about that. But if you are not taking honors, then BTP is compulsory, and it starts the 6th semester. It is for 2 semesters, and it carries around 8 credits. So that means 4 credits in each semester. Okay. As I said, you usually take up a problem and then you try to solve that problem. Okay. It can be industry related as well. So let us look at the other logistics. So typically these BTP projects are done in groups. Okay. Usually in CSC we have groups of 3, and in ECE groups of 2. Okay. And then mostly the institute decides who will be the part of these groups. And then guide allocation. This also students have some flexibility, but usually the institute tries to help the students finding the right guide. And finally, topic selection. That is the most important part. This part you usually discuss with your guide, and then based on mutual interest, you finalize the topic. Okay. The topic should be selected based on the requirements. Like, for example, it should be we should be able to complete the problem in 2 semesters. It should not take more than 2 semesters. Or it should not be a too easy problem there where you can finish it in a week or a month. It should be a problem that requires 1 year of effort. And then the next thing is execution of this project. Okay, so what is expected from you? One important thing is you should have regular meetings with your guide, at least 1 for a week, and then you should at least put 4 hours, actual work every week. For example, it could involve some reading, and coding or debugging or tinkering in a lab and so on. And then once you are able to do your work, the next thing is reporting your work. So you regularly report your work to your guide, and also report to the institution. There are specific formats for that. One is presentations and also reports. Okay. So these reports and presentation, for example, these presentations are reviewed in regular reviews. I think there's this, yeah. So we'll come back to that. So they're regularly reviewed, and the grades will be given based on that. Okay. All right. So what are the different projects that you can do? As I said, one example I gave is a hardware-based application. Then you can also do software development. Typically, CSC students do, many of the CSC students do software development. And then there is also a scope for experimental work. For example, there are faculty working in the area of speech processing or electromagnetics, and we have some special equipment which you can work on, and you can do some experimental work also. And then you can also do some comparative studies, but we strongly encourage you to do some work where there is some possibility of your own contribution. And finally, BTP evaluation. So how do we evaluate your work? As I said, there are 2 evaluations every semester, one during the midterm and then one in the end of the semester. And there are always 2 parts to evaluation. One is by the panel. The panel is selected based on the project, and then the panel reviews the presentation, and based on that they provide some marks or award some marks or grades. And then there is also a confidential grading by the guide. Okay, and based on these 2 aspects, we compute the final grade, and these grades will be shared by the academic office. So, and now Dr. Mainak will explain about the honors projects. So.
Hello, can you all hear me? Okay, fine. You can see the screen, right? Okay, fine. So, thank you, Dr. Anish. We just had one brief overview of BTP projects. Now we'll see the another part, which is honors project. So there are many institutes which has this concept of honors project. So it is optional. It's not like, so what happens if let's say you are after you completed your 4 semesters. So you are on the verge of starting 5th semester, and you have let's say 8.0 CGPA, okay, or above, okay, so more than 8 CGPA you have, and you are very much interested in research. So let's say you have an opportunity here to conduct undergraduate research with one of the faculties. Okay, so let's say you are interested in computer vision, data science, communication, or let's say signal processing in EC, IoT, okay, smart transportation, IR. So there are many subjects. If let's say in one of the subjects you were interested to pursue further research, so you will be given an option if you have these 2 criteria. So one is that you have completed 4 semesters with 8.0 CGPA. Okay, so this is unlike BTP has 8 credits, so this has 16 credits. Okay, so you will get 8 more credits. So it's the objective of honors projects here is to conduct quality research based on mutual interest and agreement between the guide and the student. So you will just contact one of your one of the faculty members here whose research interest actually matches with yours. So you will talk to him, you will get a meeting, I will meet him, you will mail him. After mutual communication, you will maybe if he or she is fine with your research interest, and he also wants to take you. So if you so it's about mutual interest and agreement. So if these things happen, these things match, then you can join as an honor student with him or her, okay, with one of our professors. So so this is the basis of honors project. Now how it goes. So the process is, there is one more thing which is different from BTP. It is individual. Okay, so honors one person can do. BTP, there are 3 or 4 members as a group. BTP is a group project. So honors is an individual project. Okay, so guide allocation and topic selection also happens similarly with BTP, like you have it's based on mutual interest and agreement. Okay, you mail one of your faculty members, and you meet him or her, you talk several times, and you fix something about your research topics. So there could be many types of research topics, as I said, in the broad research areas, like computer vision, IR, let's say next generation communication, IoT is there, data science is there. Okay, smart transportation, we have a group here. Okay, so after finishing 4 years, there will be lots of ideas coming in your mind. So you will be given opportunity to explore these ideas with one of our faculty members as your guide. Okay, so that's the idea. So what is the expected efforts? All the things are almost same like BTP. Weekly meetings are expected, weekly meetings with faculty. This is minimum 4 hours of research efforts, we say, but it's minimum. So you need, if you really want to do a good quality research, you need to spend a lot of time. Okay. uh, okay, so reporting formats, this is for evaluation. You need to send reports. I mean, this is also a learning. You need to write scientific reports, so that also is a learning part. You will learn how to write scientific reports. You will learn how to write presentation. Okay, prepare presentations and present it in front of evaluating panel. Okay, so there are evaluations also for every semester. There will be 2 evaluations, mid and end. So the expected deliverables are like presentations and a report. Okay, you need to present and you need to send a report based on your research project. Grades calculations are so there will be 2 or 3 panel members for your honors, for evaluating your honors project, except your guide. Okay, so I mean, other than your guide, there will be 2 or 3 panel members. Now, your guide will also give confidential review, that is marks. Panel will also give some marks that and uh, so we'll calculate grade out of that. Okay. Now, what is the exit criteria? The graduation criteria is we focus on good quality research work. Okay, so we are also coming up with a new policy, so that is under consideration and subject to further approval. But the main focus here is that we focus on quality research work. So there is also some one way to exit in between from honors. If someone is not up to the mark for honors after 2 or 3 semesters, if he or she finds it very difficult, so it will be converted to BTP. Okay, it will be converted to BTP. That's all. Okay, that's all from my side, sir. If you have, so we are on time. If you have any question for BTP or honors in general, we can take that question, sir. Hmm. Not able to see. What?
What if they fail in BTP? It's like any other course. You cannot, you cannot just skip BTP. BTP is
Yeah, I
compulsory.
mean, yeah,
It's like a core course.
It's a course. If you fail, then you need to repeat. So these restrictions on BTP topics based on branch. I mean, yeah, in general, EC BTP group is I mean, is different. I mean, there are two groups. One is CSE BTP group. One is EC BTP group. Yes, if that was your question. Which one is better, honors or BTP? There is no comparison between honors and BTP as such, but if you can do a good BTP, that's also very good. If you do a good honors, that's also very good. But honors is only available for the students who has got 8 CGPA, more than 8 CGPA, and they are really interested in research. How does honors
Yes.
program
Yes.
help in placement?
Okay.
Yes.
I'll answer it. Hello. Yeah. So
Is it audible,
the
sir?
the honor students, the honor students typically work on the project for a longer duration and go in depth, much more depth rather than compared to a BTP student. So that probably makes the candidate much more technology friendly or technology savvy, which helps in three aspects. Like as our director yesterday mentioned, that it can actually help us candidate to go for higher studies, or it can help in going for if he develops significant expertise in that particular area. Suppose he does an honors in an ML related topic, he gains significant expertise in ML. So he has he stands far ahead of the queue when he is attending an interview with a product company who wants a job in, who's looking for a candidate in the area of ML or related areas. So in that sense it really helps. Also, of course, honors also throws up opportunity that since you have become much more technology savvy, and you have spent a lot of time on that particular topic, it also throws open opportunity that you can pursue higher studies, or you may want to go for a startup, or if there is any company who is really looking for that, then that easy to get picked up by that. So that of course does not mean that there is a BTP student is an disadvantage. It's just that I think the honor student has probably
Spend more time.
spend more time and is ready
More
to
effort.
put much more commitment towards that.
So another question I'm seeing here, that if we if we want to do honors, then can we skip BTP or we need to do both? No, it's not. It's either or. It's either or. Both cannot go together. Another is that can we do internship and skip BTP? Is it possible?
Can we skip BTP?
No, skipping BTP is not possible. Okay.
Yes, honor students will have bonus point, extra 8 credits.
Yeah, honor students will have bonus credits. Okay, so 8 more credits they will get.
Basically, it means it's an honors degree.
Yeah, it's an honors degree. You are getting BTech with honors. Okay, is BTP compulsory? No, BTP is not compulsory if we do honors program. If you do honors, then only honors is there. If you do BTP, only BTP is there.
Applied physics.
I think.
Okay, that it has to talk to your faculty.
Can you build a project related to applied physics instead of computer science?
That is up to faculty. You have to discuss with the faculty.
Yeah. You have to discuss with relevant faculties. Can you do specialization and honors at a time?
Yes.
Is it possible?
You can do honors and specialization at a time. Just that it puts extra burden, but if you are ready to do it, it's allowed.
That will be extra.
Yeah. That will be extra. Yeah, you can do right. Yeah. So both specialization and honors is possible. So there are repeating questions.
BTP, there is no barrier for CGPA. No.
No. Yeah. BTP is everyone has to do BTP. I mean, if he or she is not doing honors, has to do BTP.
Can you do semester?
Usually in final semester.
How many students? Individual, one person only. Okay, so you are doing your honors project by yourself with the guidance from our faculty members.
And there is no upper limit on that.
Yeah,
There is no upper limit in the institution.
yeah, right.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Honors or specialization, which is better? Is it-
I think each has its own plus points and minus points.
Cannot really compare these things.
So probably it's too early for you also to decide. I think you can, when you reach second year, both honors and specialization start in the third year. So probably when you're doing second year, that would be the time when you realize what you want to do.
No, not compulsory.
Is it? No, it's not compulsory to take specialization course. It's not compulsory.
That's not relevant.
What is your main question?
Irrelevant. Next.
Is there any senior who is doing well? There are many seniors.
No. Question is
Which
there any
specialize-
senior who's doing honors and
Which
specialization?
specialization? Is there anyone?
I think there are two. There are two who did that.
Yeah, two people are there.
They
Two of your
finished.
seniors.
They finished.
CSE, right?
CSE.
Yeah, two CSE students are there. Same question.
Okay.
Yes, you don't need to choose right now. You will come here. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this
so
sessions are, I think, somebody has written that it goes over the head.
Okay.
I think this is just to give an overview and to motivate yourself. So, just to give an idea what we have and what we offer. You don't really need to do anything till the end of second year. So you can take your time, understand things, see what suits you, and then take up honors or specializations and so on.
So just last question to take. We are done with time.
What is the question?
Does honors require extra 8 credits, or after completion we get 8 credits?
Yeah, honors is extra 8 credits, which you get only if you get an honors degree.
Yes. Satisfy the honors criteria.
Yeah, so there is another question which I'll just take it up. Can we do like this: 5th sem honors, 6th sem BTP, 7th BTP, 8th honors? I just want to say that honors is a 4-semester project, and if you take honors, then honors is a superset of BTP, or BTP is a subset of honors. So your BTP is incorporated into the honors project. In which academic year specialization is introduced? I think it's in the 3rd year.
You can only get into honors in the 5th semester. You cannot get in 8th semester, right?
Yeah.
I think it's 3:30, sir.
Yeah, that is also yes.
Okay, I think you can do internships typically at good institutions and industries. I would say that you have a lot of opportunities, not just one institution. So at this stage, you should definitely not look at focusing on one institution. If you get it, fine. Otherwise, there are a lot of good places. And if you talk to the seniors, the faculties, you'll get a lot more options. At this stage, I think you should focus on your fundamentals rather than anything else.
It's after 4 semesters.
Yeah.
So
it's after the second year, after completion of the second year. So I think you can, this is just to get an idea and motivate yourself. I think the highest package has been answered by somebody. Anyway, there is a placement session tomorrow. So, no, I think that's probably because we got Zoom got yours in your Mac cell. Yeah, I think there are a lot more opportunities for internships today. So I don't see that's an issue there. How can we interact with the seniors? I think in this online mode, probably we need to see how that is being how that is going to be there. How can we negatives of honors and specialization? There is probably no negatives except that you really need to put lot of efforts. That really means that 144 plus 8 for honors, 144 plus 20 for specialization. So that means you are actually need to put lot more efforts, because you need to maintain that. Because if you take these extra thing and you're not able to do well, then actually that becomes neither you get the honors degree nor you nor you are able to perform well. Some of us not getting emails. I think that is being taken. I think that is being taken care of. Oh, I think the director is asking to unmute the mic. Director is asking to unmute the mic. Sir? So 1 minute, Dr. Varaprasad is working on that.
So, good afternoon to all of you. And Rishi, the question was about harness, is it?
The question was whether they can do honors and specialization both.
Yeah, they can. Okay, see, I just to give a small perspective here. This may be applicable generally, or someone may, differ from this. Basically, when you come into the third year and you are planning for your higher studies or job, generally students decide whether they want to go for a job or they want to go for higher studies. If a student wants to go for a job, and if you know that the job market is very fragmented today. About 10 years ago, it was only software engineering, IT jobs. Now today you have jobs in AI, machine learning, IoT, cyber physical systems, data science, whatnot. There are so many areas in which jobs are being offered. So it makes sense for us to not to say that I am a computer science graduate, I know every little bit of everything. It's rather better to say that I'm done a specialization, I've gone through courses, I've done a project, so I'm a specialist in this area. So that way it helps someone to get a good placement, the so-called high-end placement. On the other hand, somebody wants to go for higher studies. And then what is expected for MS degree or for a direct PhD? I'm sure that if you want to pursue your master's in technical area, of course, somebody can go to an IIM for doing an MBA or something. But then generally people go for higher degrees, MS or direct PhD. In those cases, the universities in the other countries will expect you to have research bent of mind, which means that you have taken up some problem, you solved a problem, and you are able to publish a paper or present in a conference or develop an IP. You filed a patent working with your teacher. This is what they will expect. So you build a research profile for your higher studies. Now, I think as you come into the third year, we will also help Dr. Balaji and the team will, even Rishi will be there in the call. They will be explaining to you how to plan for this. So somewhere in the beginning of third year, you should make up your mind, which means that yes, my basics are here, my interests are here, so I am going to prepare myself for a placement, or I'm going to look at a job, higher studies. Your choice of specialization or honors will by and large depend on what you want to do. definitely there are high energy students. They will think, okay, I'll do both, so that I'll decide at a later point in time. So that you can do. I don't know whether the team talked about, you start with an harness program. For some reason, you are not able to continue, you can convert into a BTP. Although we discourage that because we want very determined students to come into harness program and complete the harness program. So basically, you need to decide beginning of third year. And I personally feel that you don't ride two horses at the same time. You pick up either higher studies or you pick up your a placement. Accordingly, you may choose. Technically, as Rishi was saying, you can do both specialization as well as harness, but it will be little too much. In the sense, you need to be doing more courses, more credits. In that process, you may dilute also. That's a possibility. Hope that explanation was useful. What topics are in the harness? No, Rishi, you can talk, Rishi.
Sir, so the honors is, as he mentioned, as Dr. Mainak mentioned, it's more of a research or a project-based work. So instead, it's not like a course where you say, okay, you do a course on AI or a pattern recognition. You take up a problem and you work on that problem and to solve the problem. Of course, when you are trying to solve the problem, you will use like technological tools like AI or ML or CV or IoT and things like that. So the topic that you choose for your honors is basically based out of your interest and of course based off the faculty who is working in that area or a related area. So there is no specific rule that you have to choose only on this topic. It is something that you choose based on the match between you and the guide. So in that context, you are free to talk to couple of faculties during your fourth semester. I think by the time you come to fourth semester, you would have probably known most of the faculties in in your department. You would have probably most of them would have taught you, if not all. So you will be knowing most of them even outside the class. So you can talk to them. You can find out what is their interest. You generate an interest out of it, and then you work on those problems. I hope I'm clear on that. So how many students are pursuing honors right now? Of course, given that the CGPA itself is in 8 and above, numbers are less. Obviously, it's a small but very dedicated number of people who are working on it. I don't see any questions in this topic of research or BTP or honors at this stage. Placement, again, there is a session tomorrow which you can listen to. And I think the mail issues have been sorted out or is almost sorted out there. So there are no other questions. Again, as I said, placement, please wait till tomorrow. The session on placement is tomorrow. Again, which area do students opt? Actually, it changes every year. You will see that. It also depends on the faculty's interest, students' interest, what is there in the demand in the industry and so on. I think the next session is at 4, where we'll quickly talk of some sponsored projects of some faculties, just to give an idea what area they work on. So probably that will answer some of these. Of course, it may seem a little too much, but we will just talk of the introduction of the area to work on. It will just give an exposure of few faculties. Again, that does not mean in any way that others are not working. Probably they are working more and doing publishing more on that area. And then I think at 4:30 there is a session on Sri City itself, where you have the Sri City president coming and talking to us. I think you can go for placements if you are pursuing honors, but whether you are going for placements or higher studies, that you need to take a call at the uh, by the time you are in the final year. Again, please hold on these questions for tomorrow. But the answer for this is that uh, honors does not mean only for higher studies, though mostly yes. But then you have to take a call whether you go for higher studies or placement by the time you're in the final year, which I think is fair enough because by that time you should know. Okay, then thank you very much. We'll take a small break. We'll meet at 4 o'clock. Thank you. Uh, Hello, good afternoon. I hope you can hear me. Yeah. So it's been 4:02 now, so I'll start. So we'll quickly go through some of the faculty-driven technology projects. This is again just to give you an overview of the different projects that we are doing. It will help you to understand what we are doing. So we have projects from different agencies. I have put some of them, mainly being Department of Science and Technology under their different divisions. uh, Global Innovation and Technology, Indo-UK Education and Research Initiative, DRDO, the premier defense research lab, ISRO, the premier Indian space agency, industries like Hella Automotive, NVIDIA, and of course we work with Sri City and so on. Uh, I just go through some of the projects. Uh, and then I'll ask our colleagues to present on their projects. So one of the projects that we are looking at is a smart village wells. We're connecting the different smart village wells. Why, if you actually look at the problem, most of the upland villages, that is where there is less water resources, they do not have access to water from some of the nearby rivers or canals, because the water, there is no rain, the waters have dried up, and with dry land, farming remains no more economical. But then there are different tube wells, open wells, talabs, ponds, lakes, which is around 30-40 kilometers or the other side of the hilly terrain, where there are a lot of water sources available. So the problem is the uneven availability of a water in a village. So a very common problem that we find in the Indian scenario, especially starting from Punjab to Madhya Pradesh to Andhra and so on. So one of the thing is to see if we can actually interconnect the different distributed water resources. We have shown some images from a village near Tirupati that we have. And if you actually see the solution that has been worked out is you want to put a lot of sensors and actuators which will collect the information about the water levels at different water sources, talabs, lakes across different days and weeks. And then you want to develop the solution that is scalable, which can connect hundreds of wells. If you actually look at an architecture that is mostly a communication based, a reconfigurable and IoT system, that's what people have been looking at, where you will get and you'll have sensors collect data from all these different wells and talabs and water sources, and then look at different data analytics, carry out, use different real-time data analytics solution, look at optimization technique, machine learning techniques, bring in loop mechanisms, recommendation system or alert engines, and develop a single stop platform. Now, if you actually see, it's a common standard problem that we face in India, or maybe even many parts of Asia, but then we using technology to develop these solutions. So it's one of the common problems that we see. Similar other problems like, when you're driving in, especially in the Indian or environment or any Asian environment, or environment where there is a lot of obstacles or some less disciplined traffic, you'll see a lot of obstacles around, including potholes, broken dividers, and so on. So can we measure these potholes? Can we assist the drivers in telling him where the potholes are? Give him the specifications of the potholes like length, width, and depth. A traditional image processing or a computer vision problem. Can we identify the road curvature, the lane markings in the road, type of road, earthen road, tar road, gravel road? Now, if you see that, it means a person needs to understand what a road type is, and then look at detecting these, identifying the characteristics of the road, telling it in real time. Basically, it involves a lot of neural network techniques to identify the potholes, especially the depth of the pothole or the cracks in the road or the signature of the potholes. So a lot of applications, especially the AI and the ML space, where if you can actually look at the type of the road curvature, apply some regression model, can you look at the speed of the vehicle, or can you give an estimation? No, this is the safe speed which you should driver should drive. So can we have a driver recommendation? And especially this changes if you are looking at as a daytime, dawn period, evening period, or a night time, especially night time when we do not have clear images. So we need to look at a lot of image enhancement techniques to which will form the basis of it, the first step to look at the proposed solution. So again, a very interdisciplinary approach to solve this problem. Some of the other projects include, developing or design and development of an autonomous vehicle. Um, you know, I'm showing you a simple schematic of a prototype AUV design. Most of the underwater vehicles are actually, big vehicles of around 5-ton weight and so on. But then if the vehicle goes inside water and doesn't come back, the entire time, energy, money is wasted. So people are looking at a low cost, low sized vehicles of, 4 to 6 inch diameter, 5 feet length, which you will probably put a swarm of such vehicles into the water and try to collect the information. So again, it throws up a lot of open challenges like communication between these vehicles, swarm robotics, how to have communication between these vehicles, how to build this vehicle itself, of 5 feet length and so on, including putting all the sensors, making it waterproof, leak proof, and damage proof, especially when it is hit by some aquatic animals. I just want to touch upon one thing, that there is a prototype of an AUV developed by a UG student, single-handedly almost, by a UG4 student during this summer in the lockdown period, which is a very small prototype of a vehicle that he built with almost very less cost. It costs less than 10,000 rupees to build a vehicle of, a 50 by 25 centimeter and which goes up to 10 feet or 3 meters. So actually tested in the, in kind of a very basic pool or a tank environment, which in fact moved at the speed of zero point 0.5 meters per second. I just put here to show that, that people can actually develop it at the level that we are talking of, at engineering level education. The final project, it is with Dr. Varaprasad as well, where we are looking at um, fault tolerance or anomaly detection in a factory environment, where actually can we see, we simulate the factory environment or we simulate any environment. So can we create a digital model of it, where if there is any event that is happening in the actual machines, say a tea manufacturing machine or a matchstick manufacturing assembly line, can we actually create a digital twin model so that I'm sitting in my machine, I can see what that actual machine is doing all about. And if I change any parameters here, that gets reflected onto the physical process. So that is the digital twin. So where we are trying to bridge the gap between a real production and a virtual production line. So again, there are three students working on this project with an industry, Siemens and few other small companies, where we want to actually go and test it to see whether it is working or not. So I'll also go and present one of our colleagues' project where he's actually looking at developing antennas for something like an antenna that you want to put it on an aircraft. If you see, you see today's antennas or a dish where you have a TV in the house and an antenna or a satellite above the house. Now, if you take it applications like an aircraft, maybe automotive, but mostly aircraft like applications, where the antenna is actually is a large structure, aircraft is a large structure, and you want to build the antenna to be located within the structure or just outside the structure, then the radiation pattern, how the electromagnetic signals are received in these environments where the antenna is very close to the body structure. So the body plays a big role in deciding the quality of the signal that we get from these antennas. So this is again a very important project. Where you see, I'm not going too much into the technicalities, but I just want to show a diagram where we say that there are flat screens and there are cylindrically curved screens, and the way the signal is received by a flat screen or a curved screen is significantly different. So, and then can we look at a hybrid mechanism between a flat and a cylindrical screen? So these are some of the projects that we are working on. I'll probably ask my colleague, Dr. Shivram Dubey, who to present on this project. Dr. Shivram? He's there, he's there.
Yeah, hello, sir. Actually, it was not allowing to unmute.
Yeah, Dr. Varaprasad is coordinating that.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. And a very good afternoon to all the participants here. So myself, Dr. Shivram Dobe. So basically, this is a work that currently we are executing, that is development of deep learning based hashing techniques for image retrieval. So now if you see in the current time, this artificial intelligence is playing a very huge role. Either it is application in computer vision, or it is application in smart transportation, or it is application even in industrial applications. So if you see in most of the applications in real life, this artificial intelligence is playing a very vital role. So this project also aims to utilize this artificial intelligence in the form of learning of the features that will be used to perform image matching. So what is the meaning of, so image retrieval is basically just one extension of image matching. So suppose let's say if I give you two images, one image is taken at the daytime and another image is taken let's say in the evening time. Or even let's say if you have two images, in one image you have a person, and that person is basically the area that person is covering is less, but in another image it is more, or basically the scale of the object which is there in the image is different. As a human being, we can very easily say that these images are very similar to each other, because it has similar appearance. But how computers can do? Is it possible that computer can also tell us that what is the similarity between any two images? For example, here you can see one image that is given, this dinosaur here. So now if you see, even for us it is very easy to say that these images are similar. But even if you are a little bit aware that images are nothing but these are pixels, are just values, so computer will only know the values or intensity values. So that's what is the whole basically the area of research, where we can bring the intelligence to the computer such that computer can give us a score of similarity or dissimilarity between two images. And those similarity or dissimilarity can be used for different applications. And this is one of the application that we are working is image retrieval, where if we have one image given as the input, we want to find out similar images from a data set. And when want to find out the similar images, then obviously we have to look upon the similarity and we can sort it. And now what is the new thing that we are doing here? We want to utilize this artificial intelligence to find out what could be the better feature automatically from the data itself. So that's what is the new thing that we are looking for. So obviously it has plenty of applications, and even one BTech student is also working on that project along with other students. This is another project that is currently going on with Dr. Himanshu Sharma here. And this project is also very similar to the previous one, but now this is transforming image from the night time to daytime. And this project is basically funded by this DRDO Young Scientist Lab in artificial intelligence. And the aim is basically to empower our military people during night time by improving the cognitive capability. If we can generate the images, how images will look like in daytime from the night images. So night images will be captured using some different sensors like thermal sensor or infrared sensor. And then ultimately we are building up this again very latest works, that is something called generative adversarial network, which is very advanced thing in artificial intelligence area. And even there are few BTech students directly working on this problem, and even there are other JRF and so basically there are a group of people working on these problems. Yeah, obviously these things will lead to even many other applications in computer vision, and even there are plenty of applications of computer vision in smart transportation, or even if you see robotics, or even if you see even in games or sports also, there is plenty of applications of this computer visions. So either it is cricket or it is football or volleyball, there is plenty of applications of computer vision everywhere. So with this, I would like to end this little introduction about some ongoing projects. Yeah, once you are here or even you are not here, you can write anytime to me, even if you want any further information about the research that is going on in computer vision group here. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Dr. Shivram. Thank you, Dr. Shivram. That was indeed very useful. I request Dr. Priyanka Dwivedi to speak a few minutes on the wearable devices.
Good afternoon, all. This wearable devices project is basically on development of micro sensors. So if you see your around, like you can test something or you can smell something, that's all about sensors. So in micro sensor, we are going to focus on, detecting some volatile organic compounds. So here basic concept is to sense, organic compounds basically. If you see the current scenario, the problem with healthcare is, if you want to go for any test or any disease, so what you want initially, let's say, take the example of diabetes. So people want blood sample and all. So in this project, we are trying to develop a non-invasive sensor. So through vapors, can you extract the information, like early stage information related to healthcare? So the motivation behind this work came from the basically the if one any of you have heard the term Moore's law. So right now we are following more than Moore's law. So what more than Moore's law? The current technology is 5 nanometer, and how we can develop this nanometer based devices. Basically, when we talk about wearable, it's like a Apple Watch or something, so that you can honestly early detect your disease. So how we can reduce this barrier? So in order to reduce this barrier, there is a concept called future. What would be the future electronics? So we are moving from micro devices which are on silicon level. So here the objective of the project is to move from silicon to flexible electronics. So during this project, I would be exploring different type of materials as well as electrical aspects of volatile compounds, how we can go for early detection disease. So this is all about this project.
Thank you, Dr. Priyanka. Dr. Shiva, are you there? Maybe we need to unmute him. Dr. Shiva Kottam Raju.
Yes, yes, Rishikesh, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Please speak in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So my research area is mainly on solar cells designed for space applications. So we all know or seen solar cells in different areas. We have seen it on rooftops for street lights and other terrestrial applications. But when it comes to space applications, the solar cells are of different design compared to the solar cells that are used on the surface of the Earth. So my research work is mainly involved in designing solar cells, which are mainly used for space applications. So space is a different environment totally. So the satellites that are used for space, they are subjected to radiation and other. It's a hostile environment in space. So the solar cells that are used in space, they are usually subjected to radiation compared to the solar cells that are used on the surface of the Earth. So in my research work, we have designed already and published this kind of solar cells. You can see some designs. This is just outlay of various designs that we have implemented here in IIIT City, and all these structures are innovative in nature, and efficiencies and the corresponding efficiency. Efficiency is an important figure of merit for a solar cell. How much Solar cell is basically what? How much light is being taken and how much of it is being converted into electricity. So that is what is efficiency. So yeah, so you can see that various designs in this aspect and the corresponding efficiencies. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's it.
Thank you, Dr. Shiva, for brief and yet nice explanation. I request Dr. Anish. Dr. Anish, can you please?
Can you hear me? Thank you, Dr. Rishi. So this is about, do you remember in the last session we discussed a little bit about Yeah, remember in the last session we discussed a little bit about the robotics, the wearable robotics problem. So this project is about this. So this project is about this problem only. So apart from that, there are some other applications in which this is useful. For example, if you are interested in controlling a robot remotely, but you want to control it intuitively, that means as if it is in your hand. Okay. So in that case, also we can use our EMG signals that to control the robot. So first of all, let us see what is this EMG signal. EMG signal is basically the representation of the electrical activity in the muscles. For example, when you want to move your limb, I mean your hand or a leg or some part of the body, your brain initiates the intention, and that is converted into an electrical activity in the brain, and then that gets transferred through the nervous system through the appropriate pathways. Yes. So what happens is this signal gets to the final position, and then you are able to move your limbs. So now our goal is to automatically decode this information. So how do we do that? We can use machine learning algorithms. So the main goal of this project is to build a machine learning algorithm that can automatically classify these signals. That is too fast. Yeah. So I automatically classify these signals, and then we'll be able to use that information to control a robot. Okay. And okay. Yeah, let me come. So, some of the objectives of this project are: one is to collect a data set that is unique for our country, which is not available anywhere else. And then, as I said, build a model that can learn from this data, and then we should be able to test this model on this data set and also any other new data sets. Okay, so that's the summary on this project. Thank you.
Good afternoon. This is Dr. Raja Prasad. I will just briefly tell you in a minute what is this project about. This is about design and fabrication of autonomous passenger drone. You might have seen, you might have heard about the drones. Drones are now used for, I think Amazon is trying to use for, delivering the parcels or medicines, whatever. So this drone is to carry a passenger, basically. So, Rishi, can you? So if you can see in the slide, you can see a person sitting in a drone. This is a prototype drone developed in, I think, Switzerland, if I'm not wrong. So this drone is very much different than a normal drone. Okay, so it's not as simple as sounds. Basically, these drones should have the highest reliability. You cannot afford to crash on a building or a right on a road, right? So it's very crucial to maintain the reliabilities, communication links, everything. So there are a lot of things here: computer vision, AI, right, and IoT. There are a lot of things that comes into play for this kind of research. So basically, this is to realize a drone for a passenger travel. Okay, so it can be for Uber, air travel, whatever. So this is just a small summary of the project of passenger drone. Yeah, I think we are out of time. I will conclude here. We can discuss much when you are in the campus. Thank you. So 1 second.
Thank you, Dr. Varaprasad. we are just on time. If you have any questions, please ask, or you are free to think about it and come back later to us. You can email us anytime, and we'll be, or you can email me. I will simply connect you to the concerned faculty. There seems to be some questions. Just so we'll take up a couple of questions. Can we participate in those projects? Yes. I mean, the entire motive of informing you of what we do. Again, this is just a small crux of what we do, a small set. So definitely you can participate, but of course you need to know, as I mentioned in the previous half an hour, that you need to know good programming skills. You need a basic understanding of, say, control systems, or ML, or pattern recognition to do these things. That's why we teach these courses well within the 5th semester, so that you are ready for you are ready to start working. What are the requirements for participation? There is no hardcore requirement except by generating knowledge. You need to have the sufficient knowledge to start uh, um, doing things. What is the role of CSE student in passenger drone? I think Dr. Varaprasad very well summarized that it's it involves computer vision and data analytics, and especially AI and ML, more on neural networks. Of course, EC student knowing this subject helps, but then it's open for both. That's why you see most of these companies who come for such kind of jobs, they really do not look at whether you are an ECE or a CSE student. They basically look at what is your knowledge and what is your aptitude to learn and contribute in this project. Can you start your own project? It's a step-by-step climb. It's not that I cannot simply take and go and participate in a cricket match and play against Australia today. It's a long drawn process. So we are just trying to tell you where you can reach by following this process. Typically, in the 3rd or 4th semester, you'll start getting a glimpse of these projects. That is why we have the honors projects in the 5th semester, BTP in the 6th semester, where you can really, really start participating. I think we are on time. It's 4:30. There is no eligibility, as I mentioned before. You need to have some knowledge as such. You can learn through online, but probably you need to easy to learn with when the instructor is there. So I'll stop here because it's probably too early to talk of these. Again, this session is mostly to give you the motivation and gist of the project. We have with us, these drones and all these things are typically useful for develop something called as smart city. I'm sure all of you have heard of that smart city. So today I am very happy to introduce you and to mention that we have with us today Mr. Satish Kamath, the president of Sri City, where we are located. Hello, Mr. Satish Kamath. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll very briefly introduce Mr. Satish Kamath. Uh, Mr. Satish Kamath has been there for around 5.5 years with us in Sri City. He brings to the table a unique mix of experience in IT, project management, telecom management, smart cities, and vast experience in smart and sustainable city development in India. He has represented Sri City on various bodies and committees, especially on sustainable committees. He has over 35 years of experience in manufacturing, IT companies, infrastructure management, development projects. Prior to Sri City, he was the Vice President, Sri City Management of Lavasa. I'm sure many of you would have probably heard of it. It's a 12,000-acre smart hill city near Pune. So, in fact, Satish is pretty well known there. If you go to Lavasa, you will hear Satish very commonly there. Mr. Satish Kamath is an engineering graduate from BITS Pilani, MBA from Symbiosis Pune. He has attended, executive management program in IIM Bangalore, completed courses on developing affordable cities and affordable housing from Erasmus University, Rotterdam. Uh, Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Satish Kamath. Thanks for Director for helping in organizing this. I welcome you once again onto the board, and I hand over the platform to you. I hope, I believe you are already unmuted. No, he's muted.
Well, thank you, IIIT team, for giving me an opportunity to speak to the new batch of students. Um, Difficult times, but we have to be ready for all the time. Eh, Sri City is one of the biggest industrial based integrated smart cities in South India. And very soon as the virus comes under control, I think all of you will be coming and joining the campus physically. Right now, this induction program is happening online. So I'll also try to give you an idea of what Sri City is in a virtual way. So allow me to show a few videos, and then I know there will be many questions that you will have about Sri City and what to expect in Sri City. Many parents will be there in the video conference, and you are free to aim those questions about safety, security, what is Sri City, what to expect in Sri City, and all such kind of questions to me. I'll be happy to answer that. So I'll start with a quick video about Sri City, then follow it up with some very good remarks that the Secretary Government of India gave in a meeting chaired by the Education Minister, and one or two videos more to give you a flavor of let's say life in Sri City, as well as some of the one of the companies which is into manufacturing electronics items in Sri City, so that you get a overall picture of what Sri City is. I'll start with a video on Sri City. Please stand by. Sri City video.
Welcome to an emerging smart city that is fast becoming a springboard for sustainable growth and a hub for global industry. Welcome to Sri City, India's most preferred business destination. Sri City features world-class infrastructure integrated with smart technology and fast and efficient services. Sri City is developing into a vibrant social community due to its well-planned urban setting. Use of clean energy, smart systems, and the integrated work, live, learn, play model. Located on the border of Andhra Pradesh with Tamil Nadu, 55 kilometers from Chennai, along National Highway, Sri City is connected to the major metros of India through the Golden Quadrilateral Highway network. Sri City is well connected to 2 international airports and 4 seaports, all within a 100-kilometer radius. A broad gauge railway line runs alongside the National Highway, adding to the connectivity options of Sri City. Sri City's industrial zone comprises of a multi-product special economic zone, a domestic talent zone, and a free trade and warehousing zone. The automotive cluster in Sri City includes Japanese majors like Isuzu, NHK Springs, Nippon Seiki, Kikuwa, Aisan, and Piolax, to name a few. Sri City's electronics EMC. More than 50,000 skilled and semi-skilled people currently work in Sri City. Apart from Isuzu and Foxconn, other conglomerates that employ a large workforce are FMCG giants Colgate-Palmolive and Unicharm, food and beverage majors such as PepsiCo, Cadbury, Kellogg's, Lavazza, and others, and industrial MNCs such as Cobelco, Alstom, and Metal One. To jumpstart operations efficiently, a dedicated 130,000 square feet business center with all modern facilities is available. The business center is also suitable for IT, ITES, BPO, and other service-oriented businesses. For manufacturing companies that are ready to go, ready-built factories are available for immediate start of operations. Companies whose requirements are more specific and niche can avail built-to-suit options. Someone who is not on fully supported by the state and central governments. Single desk 21-day approval window is available for all units in Sri City, along with a multitude of operational benefits. Sri City's state-of-the-art infrastructure has been designed by world-renowned urban infrastructure experts. The robust internal
Let our pictures be seen.
facilitates easy access to IRC standard, primary, secondary, and tertiary roads. Major telecom operators like Airtel, Vodafone, Jio, Tata Communications Limited, BSNL, and Railtel have set up high-speed 3G and 4G networks across the city. An extensive fiber optic network also covers Sri City. 450 megawatts of power has been allotted by the government of Andhra Pradesh for Sri City, enabling 24/7 electricity. The comprehensive water supply infrastructure consists of multiple reservoirs, pumping stations, and supply networks, enabling 24/7 supply of water. The sewerage network is connected to modern sewage treatment plants, and recycled water is reused for specific purposes. The stormwater drainage network runs throughout Sri City, channeling rainwater to the reservoirs. Environmental parameters like air and water quality and noise levels are constantly monitored to ensure a clean, sustainable, and healthy environment. Sri City has been a champion of environmental sustainability since its inception. An internal solar power plant adds to the grid, while street lighting and traffic control systems are all independently solar powered. Electric cars and shuttle services are used for internal commute. Over 1 million trees have already been planted, and over 10 million will be planted. With all of these initiatives, Sri City is well on its way to becoming a carbon neutral zone. A variety of options for long and short duration stays are available at Sri City. Fresh and sumptuous culinary treats are on offer at the food court and community dining center. The medical center provides emergency as well as day-to-day healthcare needs. The center encompasses a general care facility operated by SIMS hospitals, which includes an emergency and trauma care center, a children's specialty clinic run by Kanchi Kamakoti Child's Trust Hospital, and a specialist eye care facility operated by Shankar Netralaya. and PIN codes.
Search.
A full-fledged police station offers a sense of safety and security to all locals in and around Sri City. Sri City has a final station located on Central Expressway. Major commercial banks have set up their branches in Sri City. Sri City has operational helipads at multiple locations within Sri City. Sri City and its surrounding locales offer a wide variety of activity options to suit a vibrant lifestyle. Trekking, boating, camping are some of the popular adventure sport choices available.
I can congratulate all the promoters of Sri City SCJ. I can congratulate all the investors who are investing in their factories, which are going to come up here in Sri City SCJ. And I wish that they grow very well. Sri City, its growth, its employment opportunities, and the industries that come up here will ensure that there will not be a single unemployed person anywhere in this part of Chittoor, anywhere in the neighboring districts of Kadapa and Nellore, and every person will be gainfully employed. I take this opportunity to call upon all the investors to come, invest in us, invest in Sri City SCJ, and grow along with the state of Andhra Pradesh.
We welcome you to experience the world-class business environment of Sri City, where enterprises of various sizes from diverse sectors are thriving together. This flourishing clientele is testimony to Sri City's immense potential as a business destination.
Why did we select Sri City? Well, a favorable business environment, fantastic facilities, infrastructure, access to great talented people, a strong workforce.
Majority of our operating team members belong to Andhra Pradesh. We are very happy with the onboarding process of the new recruits who have responded very well to classroom as well as on-the-job training.
Sri City is well connected to the main airports and the main seaports. Sri City is really always helping us to expand business. They are really good partner for our business. Round the clock power supply and electricity that allow us to run a manufacturing business in excellent condition that very few industrial parks are able to provide.
A world of opportunities awaits you at Sri City. We invite you to be part of India's best integrated business city and scale your business to new heights.
Hello. Yeah. No, I'm not able to do it. Close it.